As Nigeria stands in the threshold of a new era, the nation is poised to embark on a fiscal journey that promises to reshape its economic landscape. The 2025 Tax Reform Act, signed into law by President Bola Tinubu, represents a sweeping overhaul of the country's tax system, aiming to boost revenue, simplify compliance, and promote economic growth, with the implementation date of January 1, 2026 looming. The question on everyone's mind is, will this ambitious reform deliver on its promises, or will it worsen the nation's economic woes? And how will it affect Enugu businesses and individuals? You know, it is usually a trying and a difficult moment to figure out how new tax laws will affect you. How will it affect you as an individual, as a businessman, as a salary earner in this country? How will it affect you? So that's one of those things we'll be focusing on. And our guest will be Emmanuel Ekene Nnamani, FCA. He is the executive chairman of the Enugu State Internal Revenue Service. All right, so he will be answering all the questions, providing perspectives, helping us to lighten whatever it is that is difficult to untangle regarding the tax discussions. You can also join us on the program by calling our phone line 091. Of course, you call our studio lines at the right time. We will announce it. 0911 6993 993. 0911 6993 993. We are live on Facebook and on YouTube. You can go on YouTube, search, for the program on YouTube. You will get us watching us live there. We will, of course, be sharing the link at appropriate places. My name is Alex. Welcome to Straight Talk here on Afia Radio 99.3 FM. Feel free to drop your comments. You never know, so that we can start attending to those concerns early. If you have questions for Emmanuel Ekene Nnamani, feel free to let us in on it by dropping those comments either on Facebook, on YouTube. All right? Tax Matters. Just search for Tax Matters on YouTube. It's live. You will be listening or watching live on YouTube and on Facebook. So as you join us this morning, we like to dig in deep and find out exactly some of the things that people are worried about, especially regarding the implementation of the new tax laws in Nigeria. Who is supposed to be taxed? What income brackets will be affected by the taxation? How do you deal with issues of tax compliance? How do you handle your tax filing? How would you, of course, deal with the issue of record keeping? Bookkeeping is a big issue. So how can people get into this? How is the tax law going to affect those with business name and those with limited liability companies? So these are some of the issues. And of course, Enugu's how will it will affect Enugu's businesses, will also be finding out about that and getting into all that. So if you have questions, feel free to drop those questions on Facebook, on my Facebook page, Alex Obod. I'm streaming there, and you can also call us live on the studio 0911 6993 993. That's the number you can call us on to be part of the program. And of course, it is something that is very important. People like to know about a lot of things, and that of course includes that they want to know how this will affect them. So if someone sends you pocket money, will it be taxed? So lots of questions have been looming, and it's important we understand how this will affect everybody within the value chain. Okay, so at the end of the day, it is Straight Talk here on Afia Radio 99.3 FM. We will be having our guests join us. I would like you, if you have questions, because I'm sure that there are lots of questions that will be asked you may well start sending those questions now so that we can, of course, get to the point where we take on them as many as we can. We will take on those questions. So, lots of talking points about the tax issues within the country. In fact, some people are even getting to the point of hysteria. Um, Everybody is worried. Even those with big businesses are worried how it will affect them because you never know exactly what's happening at the back end of government's implementation policies. So, you want to be clear on this. I've seen lots of reels on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, various people explaining, trying to explain what will happen, what will be, what wouldn't be, what will it be really for small businesses, those whose businesses are streaming in millions of naira. How will they be taxed? So lots of talking points here and there, everywhere, and this is just one thing that needs to be ironed out. We need proper explanation on what needs to be the clear path to that particular tax reforms. And if it's something that we get proper explanation on, and then we are better for it. And we will be itching to actually hear the best of it and find out exactly what it is these tax issues will provide for us. So at the end of the day, it is uh, one thing that we need to understand that you need someone who's a professional in the field to offer those explanations. You don't want someone who is speculating. You need someone who will tell you exactly what it is, what it's about, and exactly what the issues will be. So we will be having our guest join us just in a couple of minutes, and he will offer some valuable explanations on the things that we need to know, especially regarding the new tax regime here in Nigeria. It will be taken off from tomorrow. So from tomorrow, whatever comes in, whatever goes out, it looks like the big brother will be watching you. So, so that's exactly what it is now. So everybody in the value chain wants to understand what it really would be like to be in the new tax regime. So if you don't know what it is, this is time for all of us to pay attention to understand exactly the context of this, and it will really help everybody to uh, get into the knowledge of how to be in the tax regime without heart palpitations. A lot of people are having heart palpitations, as it were. So, with that said, that is, of course, what we'll be letting you in on here. So, typically, we will understand who will be taxed, who wouldn't be taxed, who will be tax exempted, and all that. So, every other thing in between is something we will be examining this morning on Straight Talk. And I'm joined this morning on Straight Talk by Emmanuel Ekene Nnamani, FCA. He is the Executive Chairman of the Enugu State Internal Revenue Service. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us on the program. Good morning.
Thank you, Alex, and good morning, Enugu.
All right, so let's get to it because a lot of people are having heart palpitations about the new tax law that will be taking effect tomorrow. And there is a joint tax board, meaning that Enugu is in on it. No state in Nigeria is exempt. So help us, first of all, explain what it is to have a new tax law before we get into who is affected, how they are affected, and what they need to do in order not to be adversely affected.
All right, thank you very much. And let me start by saying, Enugu, compliments of the season. I hope the celebration was peaceful. We also want to thank Enugu so much for their support this outgoing year. The support has been massive. The compliance to tax payment has also been unprecedented. And I want to thank especially Ndafia and the what we call the transporters, because they've supported us immensely. To your question, when we talk about tax law, it is, let me say, it is the right time for Nigeria to have a new tax law. Most of our tax laws are totally outdated. And unlike what we see over there abroad, tax laws are reviewed mostly yearly or based on circumstances. When the economy of a country is changing, there is need for them to change their tax laws. Again, when the consumer prices, or what we call the price index, is changing, Nigeria or the country need also to change their tax law. We have had our tax law that has been there for decades without any change, and it is important that we change it. Kudos to Mr. President who found it necessary that this change has to happen now. We also want to thank the chairman of the committee, Taiwo Yedel, who has been very resilient in ensuring that this tax law happen, irrespective of antagonism to him. And I know that you must have heard a pronouncement by Mr. President yesterday that this tax law is taking effect as planned, because there has been a lot of antagonism, people who want to ambush the president and ensure that the tax law does not take effect as planned. Mr. President has said no to it. This tax law is starting tomorrow. You know that some of the tax laws actually started in June, and the two remaining tax laws will be taking effect tomorrow. It's important that Enugu is aware that there is no delay in taking off of the tax law. It's also important that Enugu needs to understand their take in the new tax law. So it is important that we have a tax law that redefines our system, that also ensure that the country give a breathing space to the poor who cannot afford to pay tax. But also, the tax law has also to be bullish in ensuring that those who are making money should be able to contribute towards the development of our dear nation. So these are why it is important we have this tax law now. And again, you know that Nigeria is going towards through a lot of reset. That there is a total reset in the economy, but common man may not understand that it's a reset. The reset in the economy happened when Mr. President removed the fuel subsidy. The removal of a fuel subsidy is a total reset on the economy of a nation, because that has been the budgeting point every year. Nigeria begin to say how much is the subsidy for fuel, for diesel, for kerosene. All these are gone. There's also a reset in our foreign exchange. The way people buy FX has changed. There is now a unified exchange rate. Unifying exchange rate means that Mr. B should not be treated differently from Mr. A. So if you want exchange rate, you know where to get it, and it is now available. Unlike before, when they say you must get it from a particular source. So it's now unified, both the parallel and the official rate. Nobody is arguing it any longer. So these are a reset that is going on in the country, and this reset has actually affected the consumer price index. It has affected our businesses. It has also affected the way we think as a nation. It has also affected individual planning, and even state planning has changed. So with the reset in the economy, the tax law also needs to come in to either support the poor and ensure that the rich pays their tax, or reduce the inequalities in the tax administration, and also unify or harmonize a lot of taxes. That in the past, if you go to Anambra, you get a different tax implementation. You go to Ebonyi, you get a different tax implementation. You go to Lagos, it's a different thing. Today, we are talking about harmonizing our tax administration nationwide. It's no longer Enugu is doing this, it's not being done in Imo is doing this, it's not being done in Rivers is doing this, it's not being done in Cross River. No, it has to be done the same way, the same approach nationwide. So these are why we need to have a new tax law.
All right, so we already established that there is now the need to have a new tax law. So let's get into how that tax law will affect businesses, will affect individuals that are earning, that are taxable. Help us break it down. Who will be affected by these new tax laws?
Okay, the new tax law affects every citizen of the country in one way or the other. So all of us have been affected. So nobody should say, it doesn't concern me. The new tax law concerns you, because this is a tax law that comprehensively captures the entire country and the entire businesses, the entire individuals. Citizens must know that this tax law affects them. It affects them either positively or negatively, but nobody should say it doesn't concern me. It concerns everybody. I will start by saying that the new tax law provisions is actually pro-citizens. It's pro-citizen because the tax law gave a bunch of exemptions, people who should not pay tax at all because of their threshold of income earning. It also gave the same avalanche of exemptions to businesses. So for businesses, the tax law says that if you're a registered company, limited liability company, and your turnover in a year is not up to 100 million naira, you should not pay tax. When we say not pay tax, we mean totality of tax, including VAT, withholding tax. You should not pay. Go home and go and improve your business. Continue to improve the business until you cross 100 million naira threshold. Then you start paying tax as a limited liability company. Then the tax law is also giving exemption to individuals whom they are earning, especially those on employment. If their earning is not up to 1.2 million naira in a year, you won't be able to pay tax because your taxable income will be below 800,000 naira threshold. So the tax law has given those people exemption and said, do not pay tax. Go and focus on feeding yourself first and feeding your family. So this threshold has been given. There's also something that Nigerians will also see very quickly, that those in businesses may not actually pay tax if their turnover in a year is not up to 12 million naira. Because for petty traders, if your turnover is not up to 12 million naira, you may not be able to pay income tax. That doesn't mean that you are not going to pay rates. There are difference between taxes and rates. So, like for instance, the person will pay for extra month. You will also pay for other charges.
Yes, because it's important you explain this, because if you say that somebody is exempt, they'll come and say that the new tax law says you are exempt.
That is actually why we need to constantly engage the citizen on this. So the difference between income tax and fees and rates. Like for instance, Esoma does cleaning of environment, evacuation of waste, day in, day out, month in, month out. So people have to pay for it. So Esoma, you have to pay. But other the core tax like income tax saying this is the tax you need to pay, government will say no, don't pay because your business turnover is not up to 12 million. So the regulation will be out either today or probably on Friday. The regulation will be out to say businesses who are earning 12 million as turnover should not pay tax. But one thing is also key. When we say you earn 12 million naira as turnover in a year, you don't expect me to become a soothsayer or a divinator for me to know that your business doesn't earn up to 12 million naira in a year. So for me to know that, you also need to keep basic record of your business to enable me also know that you are not up to that threshold. But if you're above that threshold, you need to pay tax. And this tax is 1% of your turnover. You have to pay. So, but when you fail to keep this record, we use our own presumptive model to check your businesses and know whether you make 12 million turnover, 12 million naira turnover or not. But 12 million naira is not much for a business person. It's easier to make 12 million naira turnover because if you don't make a million naira turnover in a month, it's obvious you're not doing business. You need to shut that business down. So for our people to be thinking that 12 million is not profit, it's turnover, it sells. I don't know how you understand it. It sells. So these are things our people need to know.
So it's basically the gross income.
That's what gross income. It doesn't remove the cost.
So that's something I'll need you to explain, and which is the issues around bookkeeping in businesses, because it looks like the new tax laws will be rising and falling on how you keep your records. Whether you be exempt or not, it's your record that will show that, isn't it? So how will small businesses, whether it's business name, whatever it is, limited liability, what are the things they are supposed to be aware of in keeping records for their businesses in order to qualify for either tax exemption or to know exactly the taxes to pay?
This is an area that is not just about saying it. We need to do it. Over the years, we have not emphasized the essence of record keeping in businesses. That's actually why our business has not been truly sustainable. Business rise and fall, and because nobody knows the actual financial health of that business. So our people, because we do trading and we are gifted in trading. So what we do is we use the rule of the thumb to do our business. There is no record anywhere. So where there is no record anywhere, it becomes difficult for us to assess whether you are qualified to pay tax or not. So in the new tax law has made it mandatory that you must as a compulsion keep record of your business. So when you are keeping record of your business, it means we need to know how much is your sales, how much is your purchases, how much is your asset purchase in a year. Because when you buy assets in a year, you're actually entitled to some allowances, what we call capital allowances. The government will give you if you buy assets in a year. So when you have bought assets in a year and the asset is in the name of the business, and you have not actually recorded it, how then do we know that you are entitled to those allowances? So, but what we are going to do is, apart from preaching that our people should have this record keep, we are also going to support them by providing a tool, what we call an app that helps them to keep the record. We have developed it. We have what we call Pine app that we are going to give to citizens, to business people freely. So they're going to use use the Pine app to record of their businesses. So we have done that. Is about support. We will not just continue to say it by word of mouth. We are going to support them to ensure that they have to keep this record. And the law has actually made it mandatory that when we say we should use this tool and you refuse to use, there's a penalty for it. But if you have alternative, we don't mind. Only that the alternative has to comply with the standard we are setting for you to do the business. So that is actually what we are doing in that regard. Then I also come back to individual that earns up to 1.2 million. I have said it, they won't pay tax. But again, for you not to pay tax, you also need to do some basic disclosures to government. Some of the basic disclosures that you need to do filing. You need to do filing. The second point of this filing is that you need to have a tax ID. This tax ID, a lot of people are confused on what to do. So, but I'm making it clear to Nnamani that if you have your NIN, National Identification Number, you already have a tax ID. So you don't need to bother yourself. You don't need to besiege our office that you need a tax ID. You don't actually need to be afraid that the bank will deduct your money. I don't actually know where our people got that information. That the bank will deduct their money from 1st of January. I don't know. Where is it in the tax law?
Yeah, I mean, that's the reason why you're here, to help explain it. Some people are having heart palpitations over
No,
this.
not at all. People should not be afraid. But that also sends a signal. You know, the signal is sending. When we ask people to pay tax, a lot of people come to radio and say that we are taxing hunger, we are taxing poverty, we are taxing all sorts of things. And people believe they don't have 1 naira. People say, where do you get the money? We are dying of hunger. Why do you want us to pay tax? Oh, serious? But when rumor came that their bank account to be debited, a whole lot of people jump from their bed and say, nobody should touch my money. So which means they actually have money in bank accounts and they don't want to pay their taxes. So, but the truth of the matter is that there is no provision in the tax law where your account will be debited. No, please. Use your money. So you have done Christmas celebration. Let's do the New Year celebration. Chop your money, I beg. Chop it. Nobody, no bank will deduct your money. So if you have NIN, you already have tax ID. So we are going live from tomorrow that if you type tax ID, www.taxid.jrb.gov.ng. If you visit the website and enter your NIN number, enter your surname, and enter your first name, and enter your date of birth, click, you get your tax ID. It's already given. So the tax ID will start with 25, which means you got it in 2025. It will start with 1. After 25, you will see 1. That 1 means that you're individual. If it's a company, it will start with 2. So Enugu State is number 14 in the serial of Nigeria. So if you've registered your NIM that you are resident in Enugu, you will see your tax ID start with 25114. So 14. So it means you are resident in Enugu. So if your own is not showing that you are resident in Enugu and your own is not showing 25114, if it's showing another number, then you need to visit our office for us to correct it that you are resident here in Enugu. These are things our people need to know. And it to be 13-digit number.
Is it possible for someone to have 2?
No, you don't have 2 NIN.
Oh, no, but because with the whole thing, go and get your tax identification number. Some people who already have a business name registration.
Yes.
It comes with a tax ID.
Yes.
And then as an individual, does the person need another tax ID?
Yeah, you need for individual.
Okay.
And that for business, we are going to wipe it. We're going to wipe it out because there is no, in the new tax law, there is no difference between you and your business name. There will be a difference if you register a limited liability company. But if it is a business name, you don't need another tax ID because your business won't pay tax differently from you. It's you that is paying tax on behalf of yourself and on behalf of your business name or an enterprise. So that is what our people need to know. We are harmonizing all these things. It's not going to be a press of button, but this is what we are going to do within the first quarter. Everything, the roadmap will become very clearly, and people will see that the tax law, all said our tax law is not actually against the citizen. But it's important, this sensitization is even important, or the people who are doing the gossip, that they did this gossip, and the people who have even giving fear to me, it's even very important that they give fear to these people, because they need to know how they need to pay their taxes. So this is the first time Nigeria is getting to know that tax has become an issue that you need to pay. When we came into this administration, I would say, you don't have to pay tax. And people say, why? Where is Ekene coming from? Why is he bringing Oyibo method into Enugu State? That is not our culture. But you now see that the new tax law has captured exactly what we did in Enugu into the national affair. So Enugu people don't have a reason to complain because they are already in it. So it's about moving it forward from where we are. But I also want to let people know, do not be afraid for whatever reason. The only thing you need to do is get your NIN. If you do your NIN today, you already have a tax ID. If you have done before, you already have a tax ID. So we will generate and give you. So we are sharing how people can retrieve their tax ID, so that we don't need to see people besiege our office. Our office is a very small office. When we have money to build a gigantic office, they can come. We'll have space to accommodate them. But for now, please, let them all remain in their houses to do their new year, do the crossover, do the new year, buy their chicken and rice and stew, and call us to visit, to come and chop.
All right. One more thing, and we need to dispel some of the myths that have been spreading over this. And some people are saying that henceforth, that if you are sending money, that you have to use certain kinds of narrations to depict what the monies are meant for. Uh, I need you to explain this, because a lot of people believe this is what it will be. If they are sending money now, you are seeing strongly worded narrations in how people are sending money. So what would the impact be if you want to send someone a 200,000 naira and they are trying to explain what it is for?
Yes.
So how
it,
would that impact taxation?
Of course. Of course. Even before now, in all the bank apps, you will see that there is a narration. That narration is meant to be completed whenever you are sending money to anybody. If you are sending money to me and it says a Christmas gift, it's a Christmas gift. If you are sending money to me and says a purchases, it's a purchase of gas. If you are sending money to me, it says a payment for hospital bills. So why can't we narrate it? For you to be using bank app, what it means is that you are literate enough. So you should be able to narrate it. So why this bank transfer has become necessary is that the tax law says that gift will not be taxed. So, but for us to know what is actually gift from what is not gift, from what is business transaction, we need to give narration to our transaction. For instance, there was a forum I went to. I said, wait, if you're a member of the family and you discover that somebody or your son or your daughter or your brother is abroad and is sending you money to build houses for him, know it very well that you're a family contractor. There's no jokes about it. You're a family contractor.
Well,
you are. That's exactly what you are. Because if you can do it, there's no need for the person to go outside and hire another contractor. You're a family contractor. So be prepared to pay tax arising from your activities. If your brothers and sisters are living in America, living in Lagos, Abuja, and they are sending you money to pay for fees, such as NG's fee, gets you off, pay this one, you are just an agent. You're a family agent. That is what you are. You're a family agent prepare to pay taxes, because that's actually what you are doing.
So, and, sorry,
but
for the agent, okay, go ahead.
But if somebody is sending you money and say, use it to pay, Mama Nkechi gave birth to a baby, give this money to Mama Nkechi, it's a gift. No tax arises from it. If they say, use this money and pay hospital bill for our people, no tax arising from it. This is just a gift. If I say this is a Christmas period, and you say, buy 100 bags of rice and distribute to Inyomidi or Mona, it's a gift. You are not expected to pay tax from those things. So that's actually why you need to separate it. But the truth of the matter is that the people who are administering the tax laws are human beings. So even if they have seen transaction in your account and they raise a tax assessment, what you need is to explain to them. Even when those descriptions were not properly captured, explain to them, this is what this money was meant for. So what it means is that everybody has to keep record of their transactions, so that at any point in time you are called upon, you can give explanation.
So you're rising some falls with good record keeping, both for individual and business.
As simple as that. Even as an individual, me, people who will be telling me that this accounting I read has entered my brain. But I can also tell you that I don't enter any year without charting my cash flow. I chart my cash flow. I project what I want to achieve in the coming year. I put it in my cash flow. So, and I track it. So, I bought a bottle of drink at Cuban. I bought this one at so place. Because I need to keep record. I need to know how my finances are going. Or else, I don't live my life in what we call the EHF hotel. You have to plan yourself.
All right. We need to open the phone line so that people can ask one or two questions. Unfortunately, we spent a lot of time explaining, which is actually why this program is here. 0911 6993 993 0911 6993 993. We are discussing, if you like, today, tax matters with the tax man himself, Emmanuel Ekene Nnamani, FCA, the executive chairman of the Enugu State Internal.
He's building a house and he's sending money to his mother or his father or his brother to pay the contract of working in the building. And the person should pay tax. And the person has come to automatic and my father I'm not living in Nigeria. My father is at home and I am building a house and I'm sending money to my father to construct a house for me, maybe a living house. And my father is now a family construction. I need that to be explained for the thing.
All right, then. Thank you. 0911 6993 993 0911 6993 993. This is Straight Talk on Afia Radio 99.3 FM. Hello. Good morning.
Morning.
What?
Christian.
You're welcome, Christian.
Yeah. So the fact when you said that when you want to send someone a gift, it is specific, and you tell the person that they're sending money that is to help somebody out to steal, that is a gift. So that person not be taxed, right?
Yes, that's what was mentioned.
Okay, so what if someone in another way wants, like, he's using that format to actually do business with it? How do you know that this is not actually a business transaction, but rather a gift? Like, for instance, now I want to buy things that I'm supposed to sell in my shop, and I just send it to somebody, and then maybe just send it to the person like it's a gift for that person to go get to pay someone's bill instead of buying those goods from it.
Before I let Mr. Nnamani respond to you, how is that sustainable? Will you continue to list every transaction as gift?
Yeah, like my point is exactly like.
No, that's the question I'm asking. If you're a businessman, how do you think you can sustainably continue to make your transactions listing everything as gift? Because you want to evade tax.
Okay.
No, it's just that this is just me as the anchor asking this. He hasn't even responded, and he will respond to that. Thank you so much. All right. 0911 6993 993 0911 6993 993. We are discussing the new tax laws. How will it affect businesses and individuals in Enugu State? Of course, in Nigeria too. Enugu is part of Nigeria. So, you're welcome. Fine, you're welcome.
Thank you. I want to add to start man. This one is different from the federal government or any own different. Federal government today. I want to know.
All right, he will answer. Listen, whether Nnamani. He says whether Enugu own day different.
The question is, which one does he know?
Yeah.
So if you know the one that is federal government, there is no different tax law. It's just one. So, but is anyway, that is our the way our people behave. So what I'm saying here is actually what we're going to find in the tax law. I'm not giving you a different implementation. So if you know the tax law, it's gazetted and it's in social media, it's everywhere. You can also Google it and also visit the what we call the presidential fiscal policy and tax reform site. You see the laws. So read it yourself. I'm not a lawyer, but you also need to read it so that if anybody is trying to confuse you, you will know that this person is confusing you. Don't believe in what is said in the beer parlor as the authentic tax law. Read it yourself, because an average Igbo man is educated to an extent they can read. So go and get the tax law and read, please. It's not what when you come to radio, you ask me whether this one is different from the which one do you know? You have to read the tax law, please. Then let me start by letting our people know. One guy was asking, I said he's a family contractor. Yes, he's a family contractor. Believe it or not. Don't try it, too. Don't try it. Don't say that the tax law is punitive. Do not try it.
So because typically they'll look at the inflows into
the. You have a contractor that is building house for you. Why not send the money to the contractor? Send the money to the contractor directly.
So he gets to be taxed.
Of course. So that he pays tax on the income he's in contract. Why send your dad? I just want to know what you want to achieve by sending the money that is meant for the contractor to your dad. Anyway, I don't know how you understand it. Do not try it. Do not try it. Your dad will pay tax. He will. He will pay tax. So please do not try it. If you have a contractor that is working for you and is building a house for you, pay him directly. He's earning income from that. Let him prepare his account and pay tax based on his earnings on that contract. If you decide to send money to your dad, be very careful. Your dad will pay tax. You can challenge it to any level in the court of law, and we'll get there. We'll follow you. But you end up paying tax. Your dad will end up paying tax. Do not try it. I'm just begging you. Do not. It has nothing to do with sentiment, whether you hate the government or you like the government. Do not try it. Pay your money to your contractor directly. I'm just begging you. Because when it gets to the people who are telling you the government is wicked, government is this one, they won't be there when it gets to the bottom line. You will be the one to bear the brunt. Send money to your contractor directly. Let him prepare account and pay tax based on the profit that's made from the contract. Do not send money to your dad to pay contractors. I'm just giving it as an advice. Just an advice. Do not attach sentiment to it. The tax law is very clear. Do not attach sentiment to it. Then the other person who is still asking about whether there is gift, if you are sending money to somebody who has bought something, and the person will ask you to send it as a gift, it's not my business. So if you like, send it as a gift. If you don't like, send it as a true business transaction. We will get to know. We will know. We will. Let me also tell you that we have a trigger. If we begin to see gift in a particular account, we'll query that account. We can even suspend that account immediately. We'll suspend that account that is receiving gift all the time. We'll suspend it immediately. and the person will be brought to question. Is the only person receiving gift. So if we gift lined up in your account, we'll suspend that account. We'll write the bank to suspend the account immediately because you are committing what we call the tax evasion. And you know that tax evasion is a criminal offense in this country. Do not get yourself involved. That business you are doing, do you think you are qualified to pay tax? You may not. Somebody who can get to this level of behavior may not even be qualified to pay tax. So why are you getting yourself involved in something that is unnecessary? Allow your business to flow. If you actually prepare a business account and you make a loss, your turnover does not show you are making profit. We said we are going to tax you based on turnover because you did not prepare your account. If you prepare your account and you make a loss, why should you pay tax? Even if your turnover is $1 billion and you made a loss in the business, you can't pay tax. You cannot. Because you have shown faithfulness.
But the records must be clear.
The record is there. So why should you can't pay tax? You cannot. So it's better you keep your record. I'm just trying to let Nnamani know. Things have changed. For me, don't get involved in all this because our people are looking at how do we jump this tax. You don't need to jump anything because you may not even qualify to pay.
Yeah, because that's one aspect they need to also understand.
Of course, there's a whole lot of exemption.
Because the volume of transaction they are getting into right now may not
even qualify you to pay tax at all. So it's only the very rich that will pay tax. Why are you bothering yourself in getting into this kind of fraudulent activity? Please, if you buy something from anybody and the person is asking you, when you are paying me, describe it as a gift. All of us, this is our country. In this country doesn't belong to the governor or to the president or to myself. It's our country. Do things the right way. Don't be used by somebody to say, madam, you see this gas you bought for me. The way you are paying me, just put it as a gift. Don't do that too. You may even be involved. When we lend that account and there's need for evidence, they will call you to come and testify.
Yeah, because everybody that has transacted with the account
will be contacted. And remember, when you transfer, don't think nobody knows you. Remember, you transfer through an account. The account is available. They will pull the account and pull your address and pull your phone number. And the court will ask you to come and testify. So why do you want to get into that? Look, there's a data in this country. Don't think nobody knows you. The country knows that you are there. In fact, for you to be using that phone number, remember you registered that phone number. Nigeria is aware that you exist. We even know how much you have recharged in your phone number since the time you bought the phone number. We even know how much data you have utilized in it. So don't think nobody knows what you are doing. Somebody is watching you. Please, somebody is watching you. Don't get involved, I beg. So I've also answered Ifeanyi who say which law are we implementing. Let him read himself and challenge anybody who is implementing a different thing. Let him read himself. There is also a tax on board. So this tax on board, the office will be situated here, either in Enugu or within the southeast, but I believe it will be in Enugu. Yeah. So you can also, if you believe the tax authority is punitively charging you tax or assessing you, you go to tax on board. They will help you. They will tell you whether the tax authority is correct or wrong. So utilize all those processes. You can also have a tax consultant. We also have mediation redress mechanism in our office. You can visit our legal department to ask the question. Those legal departments, yes, they are our staff, but they are acting as a human rights to ensure that nobody can stampede you or ask you, or even because of one thing or other, ask you to pay what you are not qualified to pay. No. Why should we do that? How much do you think we can pay a loan that will develop the state? So the state has population. It's only when you contribute little that we get to where we are. So please do not allow anybody to confuse you or believe in what is said in the beer parlor. Don't say anything in the beer parlor. May not have read the tax law. Please get the tax law and read it. Read it. Thank you.
All right. I mean, we have talked down the clock. I don't know, just for some reason, the time wouldn't be enough for us to discuss everything. But this is a step in the right direction. And I have to thank you so much. Emmanuel Ekene Nnamani, FCA, is the executive chairman of the Enugu State Internal Revenue Service. Thank you for explaining this to us this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you to Enugu. Do have the best of New Year. 2026 is going to be a year of prosperity. It's going to be a year of massive infrastructure development in Enugu State. It's also going to be a year that in Enugu we see that governance is not a rocket science. So thank you. Thank you so much for keeping faith with Enugu State and the government.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming on the program. And that's Straight Talk, the last edition for 2025. My name is Alex Obodo. Until 2026, that's tomorrow. I say thank you for listening. And of course, take care of yourselves and each other. Good morning. There is something missing.